So it would appear we have somebody here who has the opinion that any cancer has to be due to nuclear energy, which is really pretty silly, right? Cancer's been around since the dinosaurs. We know it from their bones. But the perspective that this was being responded to came from me pointing out that the experts assessed how much radioactivity was in the Fukushima wastewater going into the ocean. Now, to start off with, there was no iodine in there, so it didn't have anything to do with thyroid cancer. And when it comes to any kind of cancer, it's not an issue so much as whether there is any, it's whether it was increased over what would have happened anyway. Kind of like if I make the claim that if I knock on wood, then no bad stuff will happen, right? Knock on wood, then no bad stuff happens. And if something bad happens, you say, well, I didn't knock on wood enough. Or if nothing bad happens, you say, well, it was because I knocked on wood. It has nothing to do with knocking on wood. It has to do with whether it would have occurred by itself anyway. And that's what's being looked at, not whether there are bad things happening or good things happening. It's if they're causal, if they're related to a specific activity that we can control. That's the issue. And that's why the expert said the amount of radioactivity that's there in that wastewater is negligible. It's tritium, it's very low energy beta, and more to the point, ocean water now is, always has been, always will be radioactive. Potassium that's in ocean water is radioactive. Uranium eroded from the mountains is being dumped into the ocean now and always has been and always will be as long as we have water falling from the skies onto the mountains and eroding the rocks. And so uranium's continually been put into the ocean. It's an issue of how much, and when it becomes a negligible component of that that's already there, you're not going to get any effects. And that's why the expert said, yeah, it's fine. And it's an appropriate way to dispose of waste. And that's really what's key, right? When we generate waste, we have to do it appropriately in a way that's safe, that doesn't harm the environment, that's sustainable. That's the key, that we have to do that. And when we're doing that, we should be lauded. We should say, yeah, that's great. You're doing it safely, right? You're not just throwing it in somebody's backyard. You're not just throwing it out on the highway. You're not just throwing it out into the environment. It's controlled in a way that's going to allow the ecosystem that's there to continue to flourish. And that's what we want, right? We want a sustainable environment that allows us to maintain our standard of living. So take that into consideration. Please continue to give me criticisms, comments, and concerns. I'm happy to receive them all. Thanks. Have a good day.